Joe Biden, the 82-year-old former president and the oldest to ever hold the office, has been diagnosed with advanced aggressive prostate cancer. According to his office, the cancer has spread to his bones. It's a late-stage diagnosis, a Gleason score of 9, which experts say indicates the most aggressive form of prostate cancer. But here's the thing. While Biden's team says that cancer is hormone sensitive and manageable with treatment, the timing and the opacity surrounding his health have raised questions and opened the floodgates for political attacks. Donald Trump initially responded with a rare moment of sympathy, posting well wishes to Biden and his family. Donald, are you here?
Greetings, boys. It took me a little while because the dementia, it's the sun begins to set. You understand, boys? And maybe you don't, maybe you do. But Melania and I are very saddened to hear about Crooked Joe's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to...
Could you imagine if he actually called him Crooked Joe?
I would scream. Do you hear me?
That would be the
to the alleged Dr. Jill and the family. We wish Sleepy Joe a fast and successful recovery. Maybe he's sleeping through it. Maybe he's not. You never know with the crooked left. Witch hunt. Hoax.
Well, he never actually, just for the podcast listeners, this what Bill read is not actually what he wrote. We just, for the sake of accuracy.
Right. I assure you it's what he meant. It's what he meant, right.
But he kind of wrote a straight, I'm saddened to hear about Joe's recent medical diagnosis. We extend our warmest and best wishes to Jill and the family, and we wish Joe a fast and successful recovery. But that tone didn't last long because just a day later, this is how Trump responded when asked about Joe's diagnosis.
Do you want to respond to President Biden being diagnosed with cancer? Are you going to call your predecessor?
I think it's very sad, actually. I'm surprised that it wasn't, the public wasn't notified a long time ago, because to get to stage 9, that's a long time. I just had my physical. You saw that. You saw the results of that particular test. I think that test is standard to pretty much anybody getting a physical, good physical. We had the doctors at the White House and over at Walter Reed, which is a fantastic hospital. I do it. I did a very complete physical, including cognitive tests. I'm proud to announce I aced it. Got them all. I got them all right. You proud of me? Yes. Your husband would be proud of me for getting them all right. It's a little risk. If I didn't get them all right, these people would be after me. It would be not a good situation. But I think, frankly, anybody running for president should take a cognitive test. They say it's.
Got them all right, Bill. Got them all right.
Got them all right. As if. What does it have to do with Joe being diagnosed with cancer, sir?
He got his all right. That's all that matters. He told reporters that Biden has stage 9 cancer, a term that doesn't even exist medically, sparking both mockery for his comments and concerns over his remarks. As you can see here, people on Twitter took him to task. At I'm to Blame says Trump said Biden got stage 9 cancer, and we just got to go about our day like the dumbest white man to ever live isn't occupying the White House. And then Jessica Tarlov from, I think she is on Fox. She's on that 5 show.
Last name.
Tarlov. She said, if anyone has cognitive issues, it's the man who thinks Joe Biden has stage 9 cancer and runs around telling everyone how he passed a cognitive test by remembering Person Man TV. Wasn't there another movie? Was the Person Man remote? There was a 4th word in there. I can't remember.
Let's go.
We went past our test, so we won't know.
And then came the MAGA pile on. MAGA allies like General Michael Flynn and Congressman Ronnie Jackson are calling for Biden's longtime physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, to be subpoenaed. They're accusing him of a cover-up, alleging that Biden's true health status was hidden from the public while he was still in office. O'Connor, who's treated Biden since his vice presidency with Obama, defended Biden's fitness as recently as last year, writing, "The president feels well, and this year's physical identified no new concerns. He continues to be fit for the duty and fully executes all of his responsibilities without any exemptions or accommodations. President Biden is a healthy, active, robust 81-year-old male who remains fit to successfully execute the duties of the presidency and to include those as chief executive, head of state, and commander in chief. Now, Republicans, on the other hand, are claiming that he misled the nation either through negligence or political intent. And let's be clear, there's no public evidence to suggest medical fraud or anything here, but that hasn't stopped MAGA before. They're now labeling this the most dangerous cover-up in U.S. history.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
Donald Trump Jr. even questioned why Dr. Jill Biden didn't detect, quote unquote, stage 5 metastatic cancer, also not a medically recognized term. Cancer has 4 stages, guys.
Literally, only 4. Five,
not
you're in the box.
Yeah, I don't know where are they getting these numbers from?
Critics argue that, of course, this is exploiting a personal tragedy, but supporters say that the public deserves answers. So the question that we're putting on the table today, and for you watching at home, is there no bottom for MAGA America and their supporters? And are you at all surprised by the angle this has taken? Because we did talk about this a couple of weeks ago, and we said Biden wasn't doing well, and how would Trump respond? And now we see.
To be specific,
I think the only thing. Go ahead. Sorry.
To be specific, we talked about this last week. And
was it last week?
Yes. The question that you said to me was, do you think that Joe's health doing bad? Do you think Donald Trump will let up? And I specifically said no. And I was right.
You were right. Well, you were spot on. Spot on 1 week later.
The only thing that shocked me about this, to be honest with you, is that first day where they tried to have some decorum, and they were all doing the well wishes things. Actually, that is the only thing that shocked me about this whole process, that they wrote all those statements that they all retracted 24 hours later. And then they became their real selves for the remainder of the time. It also surprises me that no one cared that Trump said 9 in that moment, or maybe they did. Maybe they just glossed over it and had to go look it up. Followed by his son's 5.
Took 4.
They don't know a lot about cancer, which I think is great. Maybe
it just sucks that they, defunded the whole Cancer Research Institute for the National Institutes of Health as part of the Doge cuts, right? So they won't know anymore.
What's interesting to me is how well and how fit do they expect an 82-year-old man to be? Look at your, I would encourage them, if they still have them, to look at their grandparents when they were in their 80s, or if they're in their 80s, and let's take a gander at what their grandparents went through or had or struggled with in their 80s.
Their grandparents don't know them.
Well, problem is, never mind. I'm going to stop there.
There you go.
Well, I think what sucks is, though, the criticism is that they're saying we should have known about this.
Yeah, for an 81-year-old man. What are you talking about?
We should have known about this because he was still trying to run for president. And I don't think him having and I don't want to come across like I'm one of these people that I'm saying I don't care what happens with the presidency and president and his health. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that whether he had it or not, it didn't affect the outcome of the election. So why are we harping on that? Why are we even talking about that? It didn't affect the outcome of the election. And I don't think it affected how he ran the country either.
Yes,
the most dangerous cover-up in American history is
saying
so egregious, so egregious that I'm actually shocked that they went there, because there has to be a bottom. Your question is there no bottom? And my thing is, doesn't there have to be?
No.
And this is also the same group of people who are currently trying to cover up slavery. So that is going to be the biggest cover up.
They are currently embroiled. They are currently embroiled in a cover up, the most scandalous cover up in American history. Currently, day by day, this administration is the most scandalous cover up in American history.
I look at Enron, I look at 9/11.
I look at the Trump administration.
I look at
recovery has already been cut. We already know about it, and you're just backtracking we don't already know.
I look at weapons of mass destruction. I look at weapons of mass destruction in Kuwait. I look at Adolf Hitler dying in a bunker in 1945.
No, don't start that
And
again.
then I look at the Trump administration, who is literally trying to strip habeas corpus. The president asked Congress and the Senate to suspend their powers so that he could make unilateral decisions. And we are only close to 200 days in.
That's it.
You know what else? One more thing that really is the most dangerous cover-up in American history. They sat there with a straight face and said, Donald Trump is 215 pounds.
Let's talk about it.
And they want to subpoena Joe Biden's doctor. I want all American president doctors to be subpoenaed then, because we want answers. Why are they covering up something as silly as Trump's weight?
Speaking of covering up, Bill, they want to know why you got them shades on.
For several reasons that I'm not answering on public TV for the safety and sake of the show. God bless.
Okay. Other fashion news. Shakima likes your hat, Dex.
Thank you. That gang. 25 days until Father's Day. 25 days.
Okay. Do we have are we going to put a countdown up every day? I feel like we should.
Yeah.
Our BroTalk Live Father's Day countdown.
BroTalk Live Father's Day countdown. We 25 days away.
Lastly, before we move on from this topic, do you feel sorry for Biden, regardless of all these politics? Like, this is kind of a terrible kind of year that Biden's had. He got kicked out around this time last year out of the office, and pretty much everything that's gone bad could have gone bad, has gone bad for Biden. He did get his pardons out, but do you feel bad for him that he's going to kind of go down like this?
Go down like what?
With his enemy in office, prodding at him, ridiculing him, and an investigation
all he has to do is
his
turn
family.
off television, and he will have lived a very robust life. He's fine.
Robust.
Right. That's fair. Perspective. Dex, nothing.
It's weird because I was listening to something the other day. I watched an interview. Actually, it was Joe and Jill doing an interview, and then they kind of went down all these things that he's dealt with throughout his life, and they were talking about his first wife and their baby passed in a car accident, which is insane to me. Then they talked about his other son passing away. Then they talked about his other son struggling with drug addiction. Then they talked about him losing to Donald Trump, and it's just what a life that man lived. There is so much tragedy in his life, and I think that he's always found a way to bounce back. And I know he's 82 years old, but I really do hope he beats this. I do.
Well, there's only so much beating you can do at 82 because you ain't got much longer.
Ah, damn. I was trying to end on a nice note.
No, because we got to be real, right?
Come on, Stevie Wonder, damn.
At 82 years old, how much longer do you need?
I mean, but we still want him to have. We want him to have a nice transition.
Let's also be
free
real,
of pain and all.
Let's also be. Joe Biden served with people in Congress who were born in the 1800s during slave. Huh? What are we talking about?
I think this is a lesson, though, right? You work. It doesn't matter really what industry you're in. I mean, he just happened to be president. You retire, and then bam, here comes the cancer. You got
let's not go that far.
Earlier.
Let's not go that far, though, because Joe Biden didn't have to be doing this until 82 years old either. You really could have stepped
forward. You didn't do his books. You don't know his finances was looking like.
Well, guess what, buddy? Maybe that ship sailed a long time ago. I don't know.
Sorry, Joe. You can't retire on this Congress salary. You're going to have to be president.
You got to be president.
You got to be president.
All right.